welcome to our third day of Oaza Books talks. We are in Zagreb, and I am Nina, and Roberta from Oaza Collective is also here with us. Hi, Roberta.
Hi.
First, I will do a little introduction to Oaza Books Publishing. So Oaza Books is an independent publisher of art, artistic research, design, poetry, and illustration. Books are designed, edited, and published by art and design collective Oaza from Zagreb. So far, we have established several editions, all books editions in the field of art, design, and research. A book artists edition in collaboration with curator Claudio Štefančić, Oaza and Friends co-production and co-publishing projects, and Oaza and Friends, Oaza and Sons, sorry. Tonight we will present one book from this edition. It's illustrated edition that brings out a series of intelligent and inspiring illustrated books for children and adults. The series emerged from the belief in transformative power of children's literature in its simultaneous act as art, as pedagogy, as ethics, and as a political practice. So before we start with readings, I will also mention authors' biographies. Dino Pešut, hi Dino, Dino is here with us. Dino was born in 1990 in Sisak. He graduated dramaturgy, playwriting, and screenwriting at the Academy of Dramatic Arts in Zagreb. He worked as a dramaturg in different theaters in Croatia, Slovenia, and Serbia. His plays were staged in Zagreb Youth Theater, Croatian National Theater in Split, Burg Theater in Vienna, among others. He published two novels, Stretched Knees and His Father's Son. Both were published by publishing house Fraktura. He's co-creator of Mom, I Can Do It on My Own, together with Oaza Collective. Also, I will read biography of illustrator Catalina Jaramillo Quijano. Was born in 1981 in Medellin, Colombia. She received her BFA in Fine Arts from the National University of Colombia. She has received also several local and international awards. In her work, she creates visual narratives and directs them to establish a bridge between fiction and autobiography, evoking images of literature, philosophy, mythological symbolism, and obsolete doctrines. She develops projects that usually involve drawing, objects, writing, artist books, and publications. And tonight with us is also Neva Radeljković. Hi, Neva. She is 10 years old. In her free time, she's reading radio dramas and poetry live on Croatian radio. And now Neva and Roberta will read two voices from the book. Just a few pages to give you some flavor.
Thank you, Nina. I'm a little nervous because Neva is professional, but I will do my best. Neva, we can start.
Okay. Why does my mom worry so much every day? And why does she never let me have my way? Whenever I want to do anything, she's up and running, jumping, yelling, saying, "No, I'll do it, see." Why is my mom always so afraid and stops every idea in my head? I would be much, much happier if my mom were just a bit braver. And why does she always complain and moan when I say, "Mom, I want to do it on my own"?
Don't you dare climb that tree again. You are still too small. You could fall and break your arms and legs, break all your teeth. If you climb too high, you might get struck by lightning. Do you know how many children went climbing up a tree and could never get down again? So they had to stay up there their whole lives. And the treetops, don't get me started on what's up there. Ticks, wasps, ants, owls, crows, eagles, and squirrels. terrible, horrible. You don't know how dangerous all of this is.
My mom shouts all of this at me as we stroll through the park. But Mom, I want to do it on my own. Maybe not straight away to the top, but little by little, branch by branch, higher and higher. And so, year by year, climbing high will cause less fear. And then, when I grow up, I might become a pilot racing through the sky, a scientist studying how birds fly, or an alpinist climbing so very high.
Careful, stop, watch out. Don't go snooping around here. Everything here is sharp, boiling, scary. You are too small. You don't know how to move around here. Watch out. There's boiling water everywhere. Oh, step away from the oven. You could get burned. Everything is so dangerous around here. Anything could blow up at any moment. Not to mention that anything could catch fire in a second. Watch out for the sharp edges on the furniture. You will hit your head. Careful, stop, don't touch those sharp forks.
My mom shouts all of this at me while we're in the kitchen together. But Mom, I want to do it on my own. I'm already big enough to know I must be careful, because one day I may want to become the master chef of a classy restaurant, famous for my cakes and sweets, or even a skilled mechanic making all the kitchen appliances tick.
Thank you, Neva.
Thank you.
Hvala ti,
Neva.
Neva. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, so you got the idea how the mom goes on and on, fearing everything. Dino, for the first time, you had been asked to write a story for children. So how did you come up with this, and maybe tell us a little bit about the idea behind the story?
Yes. So it was quite a long process. No, it took us almost a year to write this quite a little short, but for me, very enjoyable book. So when we met, I had this other idea, maybe more of a catalog-like. And when I was paired with Catalina, we had this almost luck because she was supposed to be in Zagreb for a period of time. And I thought, oh, this will be great. We will brainstorm, and children's books are a collaborative process between illustrations and writings, and of course designs, which you did exceptionally well. But this was the world before the pandemic.
And then,
Yes, COVID ruined the whole thing.
So all of a sudden, a lot of plans had changed, and we became more kind of separate, all of the artists in this process. And then I started to search for new topics, something which would be more possible to make, something with a stronger structure, or something that I can write and then Catalina can draw, and then we can all brainstorm. And it took me a while to figure out what I want to write. And as I come from a theater background, I thought that maybe something based on dialogue or dialogue-like form could be easier, but then I needed a subject. And then one day I stumbled upon this article on The Atlantic, and it was this really long article about how the children's parks have changed throughout the history, starting 70s, and how everything became much more secure. Because there was such a strong wish to prevent accidents. But then now statistically, we know that the number and percentage of accidents actually are almost the same. No? And then it continued to something that I found much more interesting, and that was that there is a shift in parenthood, and that that we are somehow blocking our children to develop certain psychodynamic skills, which are very important in this early age, and that included fast running, high climbing, behaving near like natural elements, which could be dangerous, sharp objects, and so on. And then the article continued how they're now developing or building again these parks from the 1920s, so the post First World War period, where no parents are allowed. There is a lot of dangerous elements. There is mud and water and tires and fire and iron and so on and so on. They're all, of course, supervised, but somehow encouraged to explore. And I was like, is this really it? Is this, what's happening? Then I started listening in the parks, because I'm not, I'm not a parent. I don't engage much with children. And then all I could hear in the park was, look out, be careful, stop, tada, hada, tada. It was such a very sharp words, and there was like so little laughter, or for me, any sort of any sort of dangerous activity. And then I remembered, oh, but my mom was like that. And also I become like that to children of my friends. It's all of a sudden like, oh no, stop, here, come, sit. As if the simplest way is like, here is a mobile phone, at least you will be calm and I don't have to deal with the anxiety. And then I was like, okay, this could be a topic, because I think children want to be emancipated like that, and they have these urges that need to be, satisfied and expressed, and so on. And children have this kind of, it's almost natural. We are born with that. We want to do these things, and I think we maybe from an earlier generation, where childhood was a bit technology free, had some grasp on that. And so I somehow started writing about that, and it was almost a natural process. I think this little girl came to me very easily, in the sense of I don't know, I just came like writing a series of little poems in the voice of something that I truly believe and something that I want to do by myself, and also incorporated, maybe she wants to become all these things. Little girls now can be whatever they want. And it was like, yeah, but they have to then be able to express and go to adventures and be free. And there is, still certain problems in the society that we treat our little girls with certain regulations, which, I hope that one day we will be able to push it and allow them to be as free as, as they want. And then for mom, I just needed to rewrite what I heard in the park all the time, eavesdropping and seeing like, oh my God, for some people, squirrels are the enemies, and that cannot be. And then, you can play with that. You can just write elements and so on. So we had like a draft of the text, and Catalina like started to draw immediately, and she went more into this fantasy kind of like, almost like on the merge of, mother's fear and the girl's wish and urge to kind of explore and go there, and it gave it a little bit poetic quality of that. And then you also came with a design which is so nice and so elaborated. And I have to give a shout out to our translator, who was here on standby for all of this time to, quickly work and try to figure out how to make this function, because it's more like a poetry. So it has certain, difficulties in translating, but he was here in standby, being able to push the text to Catalina, rewriting with me, and seeing the options. Okay, so this was a bit of a elaborate.
Thank you, Dino. I just wanted to say that Catalina joined. Just she's on her mobile phone. I'm not sure if we could hear her. Yeah. And so we can just say hi to Catalina.
Hi, Catalina.
Hello.
So we flipped through the pages a bit. Dino, you said you are coming from theater background, that you were thinking about a dialogue, and this actually is a dialogue between mom and her daughter. And as everyone already learned while we were reading, there are these two voices. So in the book, mom is shouting and panicking in large capital letters, while the daughter is represented by sentence case in smaller font, taking, I don't know if you can see, taking wavy paths here and there in a childish manner, not sticking to the straight lines. And yes, Catalina's drawings are never literal. She has her own way of interpreting the story, which adds an extra meaningful layer and taking it a step further. So, for example, mom is talking about the scary poodle in the park, and Catalina draws a lion attacking the girl. Or mom is scared of the ocean, and Catalina draws the girl swimming with a shark, but then they are in a fishbowl.
And maybe it's interesting to mention, we are very sorry that Catalina cannot join with her voice, but in one of her emails, she mentioned that she drew a girl watching a friend's daughter. So the character of a girl is a real person, which I find interesting in a way.
Yes, Dino, you were listening to real people, and Catalina was observing a real girl.
Yeah, I think there is something about this topic that we somehow sense it, and I feel that this story and how we made it, or how we tried to make it, it is also a story about negotiation. I think there is something inherent in parents to give boundaries, and there is something within the child that has to renegotiate the boundaries. And what we do, and how I see now at the end the product of the book, is that if a parent and a child read the book, they can read it together if possible, but then they can negotiate the illustrations as well. They can say, like, and there can be even a bit of a reversal. The child can ask, do you really see it like that? But this is a small fish, why is it here a shark? And they can open these subjects, how fear functions, and how fear in a child and in the adult can be something very connected, and how it can also, like many other like unwanted feelings or complicated feelings, can only be solved within a dialogue. So I think it has all these layers within this children's book.
Yeah, well, I'm so happy that we did this book, because here at Oaza we really do believe that the books are needed today, maybe more than ever. And we really do believe that reading to children is also so important today, even if they are kept socially distant, and so that they are not just thrown into the wilderness of the digital. And also, because everything is becoming digital, we insist on creating books that are also loving objects, and we are paying as much attention to the production as we do to the content, trying to include a lot of handwork in finishing, such as silk screen on cloth cover. So it is a hardcover book. It's a bit old school, but in a very vibrant color. I must say the photographs don't do it justice. You need to hold it in your hand.
So it was actually a very interesting process, and we are happy, Dino, to have you as a collaborator. Thank you so much for joining our edition.
No, but thank you for inviting me. I think there is something so precious in that you get invited to do a book for children, especially one that looks so beautiful somehow, and also written in this really strange year, in a sense, writing a little book about fears. I think it was a very unique experience, and then when you see the end product, it's I don't know, you feel almost as happy as when you think about your favorite children's book, like your own. There is a level of excitement when you think about that, because you're so invested with the whole thing. So it was I think it was a real gift to be asked.
Yes, that's what we are trying to do. We want these books to be those memorable books for the children who will own them. We want them to remember these books when they become adults. And also Neva's mother, Gabi, mentioned yesterday that she thinks like every mother of a daughter should read this book. So it's also for mothers, not for daughters. And I have to say, it's not just for daughters. My son loves it. He doesn't care that it's a girl in the book.
No, I think that's
It's universal.
yeah, but I think we did like little girls deserve more books written about other little girls, and I think boys can always join. You know, I hope that's where we are heading in that direction. But yeah, you're sure, because when you see the book in a bookstore, this color is so vibrant, and I'm so sad. And I think this is the problem with Zoom, in a sense, is A, you don't see to whom you're speaking, and then B, you cannot see, because this is a vibrant, hot pink, orange color that reflects all the light, and it brings joy, I think, when you see it. But yeah.
There is one thing that we never mentioned, and it's, I think, quite important for the audience to know, is like the way we collaborate with authors is that we usually order original text, and we kind of introduce authors to collaborate in a way that we choose them according to their sensibility, and before actually even starting to collaborate, we show to them the work of each other, and we kind of introduce them. And this is a special book also because before COVID, Roberta and I went to Bogota, because this is supposed to be also collaboration with a publisher from Colombia. We still hope that this collaboration will happen in future, but this year was very crazy, so it didn't happen the way we planned. And we are happy that we managed to do this collaboration over ocean, and we hope we will continue working with also local and international artists that we find interesting. And for us, it's very important to also to introduce these like international collaborations, because it brings more interesting visions.
Yeah, I think we have to give a shout out to Catalina.
Yeah.
Because I think even with the time zones and so on, I think she made incredible jobs. And I know that on my side, I was pushing the deadlines, and then you get like pieces of text in English and then say, no, but this is just the first hand and so on.
It was
and so
fragments.
It was fragments, but then there was like a storyline, but then there was no scenes from. So yeah, so I think, but you know, I think it's possible. Once you find the portal, it's possible. And it also gives you the opportunity to figure out, does the story function in all these languages? Because we could kind of comment it in original, and then, you know, she got the working translations and so on. But, you know, it proves possible. I think it is one of the, it is one of those things that proves that creativity can function somehow in challenging times.
So I see that we got a question. Are we planning to publish the books in other languages?
Well, we did. They look the same, but one is done in Croatian, one is done in English, and we did it simultaneously for economical reasons. Because we only used 2 colors, we needed just one extra plate. So we did it simultaneously.
But hopefully it will be in Spanish as well somewhere in future. That was the starting idea.
Yeah, because of the Colombian partners. Definitely, yeah. We should do that. We still have Neva here. Maybe Neva wants to say something.
No.
No, no, just
Thank
good
you,
night.
Neva. You were great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think that this is it.
We said most of the things, and we would like to thank to the audience and to all collaborators on Oaza Books. And we hope to Dino to make another book.
Yeah, let's see. I need to, go back to the park and see, what are parenting trends, on Zoom or so on.
Now book about new normal.
Yes, like I'm home all the time.
So the books are available on Oaza
Yeah.
Books web bookstore. And
Oazabooks.com.
and we ship worldwide. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, bye, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.
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 Bye.